What is going on, guys? Samuel Wolf, Samuel Productions here, back with the TV review for you all today. As for today's TV review, I'm here to give my thoughts on the latest season of Survivor 44. The latest season of the New Era, and for the most part, it's pretty much what you expect from New Era season of Survivor at this point, just with a few add twists that I will definitely get into. But honestly, as a whole, I still enjoyed the season. Again, despite all the negatives I'm going to say about this season, also I'm going to talk about what all the problems of New Era being like solely on this season, I still enjoyed the season as a whole. I still think it was a solid season. It definitely, I think, has some good aspects to it. You do get some of the best characters in recent Survivor history, along with an overall satisfying winner. Definitely not as like out of nowhere as the last 3 seasons we have gotten. But for how much all the positives I do have this season where I think the problems that have pretty much been plaguing the New Era since it started, more apparent than ever in this season. Like really more apparent than ever before. And it makes you really think about, man, I wish to go back to the old days. And also it's been apparent for a long time. All these issues have been apparent for a long time. But I think it's more apparent now than ever, especially with this season. Again, I still enjoy this season. I don't really hate any of the seasons of the New Era. I mean, 41's probably the closest, and that's going to be just okay. 42 was good, and honestly, I think 43 is great. Probably not as high as I originally gave the actual. Probably not as high as I originally gave the season, but I still think it's a pretty great season. This one is still pretty good, but. Again, this was the first season in probably ever that made me lose interest in Survivor. Like I did a whole video about this season if you guys want to check it out. But I think it was around after the map elimination episode. I was like, oh my god, am I losing interest in my favorite show of all time? Which probably why also I always stopped posting episode reviews of this show, because well, I wasn't as invested in Survivor as I once was. And even in those worst seasons, even the worst eras the show has gone, I have never lost interest once. But this season, oh my god. Again, I still like this season as a whole. I don't know, it's honestly like just the hate or anything, or think it has like terrible moments or anything. I still enjoyed this season. But it's just a season that as a whole I still felt kind of just. Yeah, the fact that I'm losing interest in the season as a whole, it should tell volumes. On that. I think before we get into all of that, let's talk about what I did enjoy about the season as a whole. Like I said, it's pretty much what you expect from the New Era at this point, honestly, and so despite the fact that all the problems that you have with the New Era, the cast has always been a consistent quality of the seasons, while some definitely are a bit kind of under-edited, and some come to games aren't even shown, especially in this season, but I'll get into that. You still get at least a few all-time great characters in every season. And sure, like, in 41 you got Colin Shan, along with Xander and Danny, that also to be great characters. And Zio was also a great character in that season. In 42, Jonathan, Lindsay, Mary Ann, who I think is, in my opinion, an all-time great winner. Last season, you definitely gives other great people, like with Jesse, Cody, Carla, Sammy, like. At least since I find out how much feel the seasons, you do get some great characters in all these seasons, and 44 is no exception. You do get some genuinely great characters here, some great people. Probably the close to you can get some nice early boots here, like with Claire and Matthew. Who again, Matthew did fortunately get evacuated this season. Oh, he got injured toward the end of quitting, which fortunately, because I thought he was a great character, and Spike was a great time. I thought Bruce definitely had a lot of potential as well. But unfortunately, got evacuated on day freaking 1, and honestly, I'm very happy the guy is definitely getting a second chance next season. I'm hoping he does make a good run. Like Jamie also has some moments. Freddie was now also a great character, and I like her little romance with Matt throughout the season. Honestly, it's probably the first genuine romance that we've gotten Survivor in quite a while, actually. I don't remember the last time we had a genuine Survivor romance, and Belen looked up, the Ash always still together, which I'm definitely happy about that. Danny also has his moments. Carson also has great moments. Even Heidi has her moments as well. But of course, we can get to the two big characters of the season. These characters made the final three. One that actually ended up winning the season. And first up, we have the biggest character of the season, and in my opinion, my favorite player throughout this entire new era so far, and that is Carolyn, who I remember being so fucking hyped for this season. Like, I don't think I remember the last time I see it. Like, that's so hyped for her, so hyped going into her season. Because when I looked up, she is definitely very huge in the Survivor Orc and Roblox community. She's very huge on those fronts, and she's also someone that went to drugs, but also has been now 14 years sober last time I checked, which is pretty inspiring, by the way. And they do touch on that a few times throughout the show. So again, she was definitely like super hyped for the season, and she ended in the first beginning. Like, she kind of basically is the main character of the season if you really think about it. And my opinion, she did not disappoint. The fact that she did not win, and despite the fact that she also didn't see any votes at Draft Council, which they never legitimately, I don't think so, they never legitimately explained why Carolyn did not see any votes. Because it felt like Carolyn was going to see at least a couple of votes, actually, but I don't think I've been this like surprised by a losing finalist not seeing any votes. Then Michelle Fitzgerald and wins the war. Well, at least that kind of makes a little bit of sense, we get context, but here, I don't really get it. I mean, because she's up against Shinji and whatever, but I think she at least 1 or 2 votes, which is genuinely surprising, because she's been like very loved by the jury. But the best way I can describe Caroline is that she basically is like Nora from Out of the Isles, you know, a very zany, crazy character who's very like over the top and say some weird stuff sometimes. It's kind of crazy. She's basically like that. The difference is that this time she's a good player. Because let's face it, Nora was a pretty terrible player in Out of the Idols, but Caroline, she actually was a good player. That's what I always described. She's basically Nora, but she was a good player. And that may turn some people off if you do if you weren't really don't really like Nora in the Idols, and personally, the rotation Idols. She's definitely one of the more popular characters that season, and she definitely was a bright spot in some of the dark elements of that season. So if you don't like her, you might not like Carolyn, but someone who loves her, I could not get enough of Carolyn. I fucking loved her from beginning to the end. Many like touching moments, many heartwarming moments, many great bonding moments with other players, and moments that are genuinely hilarious and made me laugh. So, despite if I should lose, I think Carolyn's definitely going to be part of the biggest thing to take away from this season. And I will also say something involving Jam Jam, who someone I did not actually expect to actually win this season. I'm pretty sure a lot of us didn't. Like, a lot of us expect him to be that great standing character, but someone that doesn't really take him seriously. So the fact that he ended up winning this season is genuinely surprising. Like, he ended up playing a much better game than pretty much any of us would expect. And again, like Caroline, he is a fantastic character throughout the season. He's the one that had great laughs and smiles throughout, so while I was disappointed that Caroline did win, she was kind of my preferred winner pick. At the end of the day, I am also not complaining about Jam Jam winning, honestly. It's not like I'm upset about that Caroline didn't win. Like, I'm kind of upset she didn't see any votes, but if she was going to win, Jam Jam was definitely. But again, I think as a whole, I'm happy with Jam Jam winning this season. And it wasn't like an unexpected shock winner, like with the previous 3 winners that kind of came out of nowhere. Honestly, and sure, this is going to cause a lot of controversy like the previous 3 seasons. I'm not. But now let's get straight into what I didn't like about the season. And again, as much as I did enjoy the season as a whole, as much as it has a fun Tribe Council, does it have some fun moments? As a whole, this season illustrates the problem with the new era. This season illustrates the huge issue with the era again. Casper is an issue. Like, I'm something that doesn't really mind if I do lost to advance this season or a lot of that stuff. The problem is mainly the structure of the season and how it's handled some aspects, and there definitely are a few no aspects this season that really illustrates the problems in the new era. And of course, the big problem is, again, the too much out of advantages and twists are pretty much overtaking the narrative here. One that's not a new thing with Survivor. I think it's now more apparent ever, and I think having too much out of advantages and twists really playing a huge effect on the season as a whole. And it makes the season people kind of more reliant on luck more than ever. And That's not what you want to rely on Survivor is luck. Like, seriously. Luck is definitely something you do not want to rely on in Survivor. I mean, like, seriously, like, do you really want... I have to really explain why it's bad thing to rely on luck in Survivor. Like it's to outplay, outwit, and outlast. Now, saying outluck people, like... Again, I can't feel bad for some of these people in the chat. Like, I feel bad for Matt here, who ended up getting involved with a weird twist in circumstance. Where basically he was set in another one of those team challenges they did, which kind of is a little bit different than the previous tournament, than having like 2 teams at the final 10 and having them go Trump Council, like it's in the last 3 seasons or the last few seasons. But I think the way they illustrated here was like, really? And I think Matt pretty much got screwed here, honestly. Also, again, why are you doing the Earn the Merch twist? I really have no idea why it's still here, honestly. And then, of course, again, I'm talking about Survivor 44 without discussing the freaking fake idol fiasco. Which, I remember that basically we had producers now intentionally hiding fake idols. Like, intentionally hiding fake idols. Like, I don't think I need to explain how messed up and also how questionable that is, because you realize that's going to have people lose trust in you, right? Like, just you realize that's going to have people lose trust in you, and you definitely don't want that in Survivor. No, like, I can kind of get that in Australian Survivor, because that was kind of like a one-time thing, and I mean, it's freaking Simon, but this, I really can't, because, again, how really intentional it is, how in your face it is, and I really, and thankfully didn't lead to more, and I could have really just fell flat on his face, and thankfully it didn't, but this is something I hope they don't really bring back, like, at all. And from again, I know I'm not the only one that thinks that about this season. Also, this is probably why I think the free trap format is really starting to, like, be fun, honestly, because again, it pretty much just lessens a lot of the strategy and all the portion of the game. Where I mean, it's how much early season. I think pretty much is part of the least exciting aspect of these seasons. And something you do not want in a season, like you definitely pretty much actually being a very exciting thing, but it really isn't here, which is pretty disappointing. I mean, they kind of shook up with a little switch where they have like one person go to the trap, but yeah, nah, I don't know how to call it an actual switch, and it was kind of boring. And again, too many other advantages were basically in the first tribal council. You basically have more abortions, but so many people lose their votes and play the show in the dark. And I found the freaking first episode got 3 people that did not end up voting at all. You know, someone playing an item, they gain 2 votes, and a random person basically ends up getting voted out. Which again, luck. Which shouldn't be a thing to rely on in Survivor. Honestly. As a matter of fact, I did enjoy some of the cast members. Some of them are just kind of cannon fodder or don't really have anything interesting to offer. Oh, some of you don't even understand what the games actually are, which, even the later games, like, much I love people like people like Jamie, Lauren, maybe even Heidi to an extent, and some of these don't really get an idea of what their games and personalities really actually are. I feel like some places they don't really just focus on too much, and that really harms certain aspects here. That's what leads to why I think it's the overall big issue with this season. Is that this is the first season in a while that I don't think really has any true standout moments. Like, it's probably since Survivor Nicaragua, where I think the season as a whole doesn't really anything to really like stand out. And even the moments it does have stand out for the wrong reasons. But again, this is a season that I don't think really has any like true standout moments. Like, it doesn't have like a big grand blindside, and even the outlays and benches stuff that would not be exciting for us last season don't even happen. I mean, the last 3 seasons we had like one episode that had like a huge giant blindside on a big player. I mean, we had that with Shannon at 41, we had that in Orma at 42, we had that last season with Cody. Like, here, there's not really any like true blindsides here or true shocking moments. Like, it's one of these where everything just plays out as you expect. And one thing that have some fun elements, like I said, those have moments that made me laugh. Like, really, Caroline and Jam Jam definitely saved this season. Honestly, like, honestly, it wasn't them. The season probably would have been a bit lower, honestly. But they definitely saved the season with their hilarious antics and the kind of back and forth between a lot of the players. But when you go on the actual gameplay level, what was it? You really don't find anything that's like distinct or mind blowing here. And you realize that good or bad gameplay, fun gameplay is Void Camp 2504 in the first place, so. Because it definitely doesn't seem like much excitement's really going on, and that's kind of made me also lose interest in the show bits, which is pretty disappointing. And it's part of the issues of the new era really are starting to play again. People are getting really tired of it. Like, I even having like a freaking podcast, which I didn't really listen to much last season, really saved it. Despite the fact that Jeff, that he's actually now making the show for 7-year-olds, which I think makes a lot of sense with all the family aspect. Like, I don't have a problem. Like, let's say, I don't have a problem with Survivor trying to go family friendly. I do not have a problem with that. But if you're gonna do that, at least make things a little more entertaining and a little more interesting. Like, there's something after when people go into Survivor for certain elements, honestly, and I felt that the actual Survivor aspect really is missing from Survivor. Again, not an issue, but it's kind of more apparent more than ever recently. And again, I know it's not just me. I think I'm now more starting to get to, like, yeah, I wish. But again, I don't think the season is bad. I still think the season is pretty solid. It's definitely a season I want to come back to. I think, again, Caroline Change, I think definitely saved the season for me a lot lower than it should be. This season just spent a lot of issues with the new era I mentioned, with being more like I looked than ever recently, and too much odds and advantages, and sometimes not showing characters' games too much, or camp life too much, honestly. But David with Survivor next season going to 90-minute episodes, which is been confirmed that we all going to get 90-minute episodes. Hope a lot of these issues will be fixed. I'm sure everything involving like the advantages and the look stuff I mentioned and the Shipwreck Island stuff is not going to change, unfortunately. But hopefully we get a much better season, a much more enjoyable one. I mean, get more crazy, zany, unique characters here. So we'll see how that goes. But as a whole, again, solid season as a whole, I will give it an 8 out of 10. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on Survivor 44. I would love to know down below in the comment section, what are your thoughts on this season? Where do you land on with this season along the new era? Where do you land on between this season as a whole and your season ranking? I think I'll probably put in my B+ here with the good move to my season ranking. Probably like in the bottom of that tier list, honestly. That's probably what I put 44. Honestly. Again. So I hope you enjoyed my review. And again, at some point down the road, I do plan on doing I finally do a survival winner ranking down the road, so stay tuned with that. And eventually I do plan on also doing one for the runners up, final jurors. Yes, those are going to be coming very soon. And then I also have a couple more reviews coming very soon, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching. I am Samuel Wolf from Samuel Productions. I will see you next time. As always, stay cool. Peace.